So our next speaker is Jennifer Pan. And Jennifer is the Assistant Professor of Communication and, by courtesy, of Political Science and Sociology. Jennifer?
Okay. So I study how governments try to control information to shape what we know, what we believe, and what we do. For the most part, I study this in China and other non-democratic countries. And it's through the course of doing this work that I've noticed that there's something about the way we talk about the future of AI that doesn't quite match the reality of what I'm seeing. And it comes down to this. People tend to talk about the entities or organizations shaping, advancing, implementing, driving AI as singular, cohesive, unified entities. But in reality, these are complex organizations. They're often flawed, sometimes they're dysfunctional. They're filled with people and individuals who have different motives, different incentives, who are pursuing different goals. So this is what I'm talking about. Whoops, let's go back. These are some headlines about China and AI. China's application of AI should be a Sputnik moment for the US, but will it be? In the struggle for AI supremacy, China will prevail. China is determined to steal AI crown from the US, and nothing, not even a trade war, will stop it. So Bill Gates raised this question of what is Chinese AI? And I think we can even ask the question of what is China in this context? Is China the Chinese Communist Party? Is it companies like Tencent or Alibaba? Is it President Xi Jinping? Or is it some sort of hive mind of 1.4 billion people? Let's assume that when most people are talking about China and AI, they're talking about the Chinese Communist Party. The Chinese Communist Party is one of the most powerful organizations in the world who's invested in advancing AI. But when we think about the Chinese Communist Party, and I should say this assumption is warranted, the Chinese Communist Party controls the Chinese government, it controls the Chinese military, China's judicial system, China's media, vast portions of China's economy, inside of China's borders. This powerful organization exerts a lot of influence, and increasingly the Chinese Communist Party's influence is felt outside of its borders. But it would be a mistake to think about the Chinese Communist Party as a unitary, singular organization. And it would be a mistake to attribute the outcomes generated by the Chinese Communist Party as a result of unified, cohesive, singular decision-making. In this powerful organization, there are different individuals who are pursuing different and sometimes opposing goals, who are motivated by different and sometimes opposing incentives. And so when we think about what's produced through this powerful entity, we must take into account the incentives of these individuals who are shaping the outcomes of this organization. In the past few years, I've been looking at how the Chinese Communist Party controls information through censorship, propaganda, and disinformation. We've used a lot of machine learning tools to help us uncover the strategies and goals of the system. And what we know is that China is very good at censoring, at disseminating propaganda, at spreading disinformation at scale. But what a lot of people don't understand is that there are a lot of people within the Chinese Communist Party involved in this effort, from county-level bureaucrats to central leaders in Beijing. And oftentimes, they're manipulating information to influence what each other know. So even though we think about censorship, propaganda, and disinformation as oriented toward the public, a lot of what is going on to produce these outcomes is because of internal politics and internal competition and dynamics. So how does something like this play out in China's social credit system? I get asked a lot about social credit in China, and underlying these questions is this fear of a very powerful state with virtually unlimited access to information and the AI to use it. But in reality, there's not one single social credit system in China today. There are, so this is what we're afraid of, the panopticon. Somehow China will build the future panopticon. But there isn't one social credit system in China. There's a multitude of social credit systems that are fragmented in China. Some are created by regional and local governments, others by different ministries and government functions, others by companies, both private and state-owned. And these different actors are competing over data and over technological advances because of the belief that whoever comes out first or in front in this competition will have more influence, more power, make more money. And so when we think about social credit in China, we have to take into account these competitive dynamics that are occurring. And this distinction in how we think about AI and the entities developing AI is really crucial. We shouldn't assume that the entities engaged in this effort are unitary, singular, unified organizations. They're not. So we need to be clear-minded, we need to be realistic in taking into account the individuals within these organizations and the incentives and motives shaping them. And only then can we hope to shape and influence the impact of AI in society. Thank you.